Best age trotter, well, Sandpaile rates right up there in my mind. The durability obviously is phenomenal at his age, doing what he's doing. Obviously, Arch Madness is another one. I mean, he's got that balanced image breeding in him, and they don't come any tougher than that. And I think that's what's needed this day and age to go on and race as hard as they do for as long as they do.
Probably Sandpaile.
Sandpaile, I would say. Definitely his Canadian horse, but I haven't seen one in my time as good as that horse.
I'm going to go back a little bit. A horse I liked was a horse called Armbro Marshall, and that's just because when I started driving horses, I was working for Bill Wellwood prior to getting my license, and Armbro Marshall was part of the crew there, and I always liked that little horse, and he was a great horse.
Sandpaile is very impressive right now, so you can imagine the way I feel about being able to beat him with Mr. Herbie, but Sandpaile is a very special horse. Haley's yelling at me, Sandpaile, so I'm going to go with Sandpaile.
Sandpaile, absolutely.
Oh, it has to be Sandpaile.
I would have to almost say Sandpaile.
Sandpaile has got a rank up there.
Sandpaile.
I mean, I'm a Sandpaile fan. I like Sandpaile. What he's done for the racing, the fans that he's brought out, and the connections, and the Hughes story. The whole story is a great story. I like him.
Peace Corps.
Maclobell.
That's a tough one because there's been a lot of good age trotters. It would be hard to go against Sandpaile. He's of recent memory, but I would give him the upper hand right now.
Well, Sandpaile's got to win that one.
Sandpaile has to be amongst one of them, and that we've seen week in and week out. The best age trotter I drove was Magician. I think when he was ready, he was as good as any of them that's ever been out there. But Sandpaile definitely, ranks right up there.
Sandpaile's a great horse, and Sandpaile's been just unbelievable. Linda Toscano's trotter right now is the best one going. Chapter 7's been just awesome.
Let's go with Chapter 7, but I don't know whether he's earned that credibility.
I've got some favorites of my own. Obviously, Peaceful Way. Three horses that I was fortunate enough to drive that all win the Maple Leaf Trot: Peaceful Way, Rotation, and Equinox By. Of course, that's being biased, though. I don't know. Sandpaile, great horse. Magician was a great age trotter. There's a lot of them. I could go back through the years. Grandpa Jim, back in the old days, and Fresh Yankee.
Probably Maclobell. I race against him, and I think he's still, in my opinion, he's still the best.
Well, you pretty much have to go with Sandpaile. He's just been awesome for 3 or 4 years as an age horse, so not many of them stay that good for that long, and he's just been very dominant for a long time, so you pretty much have to go with Sandpaile.
As of recently, it's hard to go against Sandpaile. He's kind of my generation, more of what I've seen than most anyway. He's pretty impressive. I know there's been quite a few good ones over time that have raced in Europe as well, but I would have to say from what I've seen mostly, Sandpaile's pretty impressive.
Peace Corps is probably my favorite. I think she won 4 Breeders' Crowns at 2, 3, 4. I think she was overseas and didn't come back as a 5-year-old, and then won it at 6. Which is just almost unheard of. It's generally, if you're a grade 2-year-old, you're compromising your aged career a little bit, and she was just something to watch.
Okay, in my time in harness racing, obviously I got to go with the hometown Sandpaile. I think he's been absolutely outstanding to watch week in, week out, and he's been the most durable, always showing up every year.
Because of my age, the one that I've been watching race the most would be Sandpaile, probably, I think. He's been dominant once he kind of grew into his season, and he's a nice horse, real solid horse.
Boy, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, I think you definitely have to say Sandpaile ranks as one of the best of all time. I mean, to be as competitive as he was at that level for that long, any horse that can win 3 Maple Leaf Trots that's an amazing feat. So, we can truly appreciate a great horse like that because of the fact that we know what it takes as a trainer, we know what it takes to keep a horse at that level that long. So I would definitely say he has to be one of the tops.
Personal favorite of mine was No Sex Please, just because he was local, he was kind of charismatic. Good guys had him, Ronnie Waples, and Randy was involved, and even his dad, so I guess he was a personal favorite of mine.
I'd have to say No Sex Please because my son owned them. It'd have to be Sandpill.
Oh, Sandpill's the horse. He's my favorite trotter ever. I think I could even keep him trotting. That's how good he is.
Well, I'd say Sandpill. It's probably the one we've seen around here has been very good to Ontario and the fans around here.
I'm impartial. I'm Canadian. I mean, Sandpill's been fantastic. I can tell you, the way that they've managed that horse is almost as good as his racing career. I can tell you, he's the best managed horse I've ever seen in my life. You know, they pick and choose their races. He's always ready to go when they show up, and he always puts on a show. He's just a great horse. You know, he's a good horse to look at, a good horse to watch on the race. I'm sure he's very handy to drive, and yeah, he's the best aged horse. I mean, Arch Madness he's always going to be a legend, but you know, Sandpill, he always delivers when he needs to, and you know, Rod Hughes and his father do a fantastic job.
I'm going to say my time, I don't think there was a better horse than Sandpill at his peak.
I'm a Canadian and I like the connection, so I'm going to go with Sandpill.
Best age trotter I saw is Sandpill.
Sandpill, I'd say.
I never really started following trotters till about 6 years ago, but in that time it's been Sandpill. He's year in, year out, the best. So.
Well, Sandpill's, by far, I've chased him around for 3 or 4 years now, trying to beat him. He's one of the top age trotters that there is, probably for a long time to come, or from behind where he was. Sandpill, I would say, is right up at the top.
Tough to knock Sandpill, and he's pretty amazing. What he's done, and I would say Sandpill, yeah.
Yeah, it may be Sandpill. I wish he came back this year, but yeah, he's rugged.
Age trotter's just Sandpill. He's the best, you know what I mean? He can dominate, and he'll come back. Rod's managing him just the way he should manage him.
One of my favorite would be Sandpill, just because he's homegrown, and they're good people that own him and train him. It's always fun to watch him, but I know he's on the sidelines now, but I'm sure everybody's anticipating him coming back. But it was, if horsemen stand and watch races, I don't cheer for many horses, but I was cheering for him a few times anyway in them big races. So it was good to see Rod and his connections get all the money. So kudos to them.
In a few years, it will be wheeling and dealing.